Her voice trembled, but she refused to move. "I have no one to leave him with. He's my son." The receptionist sneered, the other applicants whispered, and the little boy clung tighter to his mother's hand. The room was already against her, until the doors opened, and the man everyone least expected walked in. The boy's small fingers tightened around his mother's hand as the cold words cut through the air. "Ma, this is a professional environment. Children are not allowed here." Every pair of eyes in the waiting room turned. Some eyes rolled in annoyance. Others stared with quiet judgment. A few whispered behind their hands, hiding smirks. She stood there motionless, her cheeks burning with shame. Her name was Clara, a single mother, a woman who had fought battles most of the world would never see. She had walked miles in silence, holding a strength that no resume could capture. Yet here, in this polished office lobby, she was reduced to nothing more than an inconvenience. Her son, Adam, no older than 6, pressed his face into her coat. His shoes were scuffed, his jacket a little too small for him now, but his eyes, those wide, innocent eyes, shone with quiet trust. He believed in his mother. That belief was the only thing keeping her standing tall. But in this moment, the world seemed determined to break her. Clara had once worn a uniform, not of silk or business suits, but of service. She had worked as a nurse in a rural clinic, patching wounds with supplies that never seemed enough, holding the hands of the sick when no one else would. She had spent nights awake with patients who had no family, whispering encouragement to them as if they were her own. Her sacrifices were invisible to the world. Years earlier, her husband, her partner in building a future, had walked away when the burden of responsibility grew too heavy. He left her with a child, no savings, and a heart that refused to give up. Every morning since, Clara rose before dawn. She made Adam breakfast even when the fridge was nearly empty. She worked double shifts, took buses through pouring rain, and whispered stories of hope to her son at night. Her hands were calloused, her body tired, but her soul unbroken. And now, after months of rejection, she stood here, hoping that maybe, just maybe, this interview could change their lives. But instead of opportunity, she faced humiliation. The receptionist's voice grew sharper. "If you can't follow basic rules, you don't belong here." No one spoke for her. Not one person in that lobby stood up. They simply watched, their silence heavier than words. Clara's lips parted as if to explain. But what could she say? That babysitters cost more than her entire week's earnings? That neighbors no longer answered the door when she asked for help? That she would rather risk rejection than leave her child alone in a dangerous neighborhood? So she said nothing. Silence became her shield. Adam clung tighter, whispering, "Mom, it's okay." His small voice cracked the air with more dignity than any boardroom speech. The receptionist sighed loudly, making a show of typing something at her desk. Applicants chuckled softly under their breath. One man muttered, "Unprofessional." Another shook his head. The humiliation was deliberate now, designed to drive her out before the interview even began. But Clara remained. She adjusted Adam's jacket, brushed his hair back with a mother's gentle touch, and lifted her chin. Her silence was not weakness, it was defiance. It was then, as the weight of the moment pressed on her shoulders, that the sound of footsteps echoed from the hall. The lobby fell silent as a man entered. His presence alone was commanding, the kind of presence that shifted the air in a room. Tall, with sharp eyes that missed nothing, he wore no badge, no introduction. Everyone knew who he was, the CEO, the founder, the man whose name was etched into the glass doors of the building. Conversations died mid-sentence. Even the receptionist straightened, her arrogance shrinking under his gaze. He scanned the room, then his eyes landed on Clara, a woman standing silently, holding her child's hand with unshakable dignity. What seems to be the issue here? His voice was calm, but firm. No one spoke. The receptionist stammered, She brought a child to an interview, sir. It's against policy." The CEO's gaze did not waver. Instead, he walked closer, studying the boy, then the woman. His eyes softened just for a moment, as if he recognized something others had missed. He turned to the room, his voice steady. "Tell me," he said, "which one of you has shown more strength today? The ones who sit in silence? Or the mother who refuses to give up even when the world tells her she doesn't belong?" The receptionist flushed, shrinking behind her desk. The applicants looked down, ashamed of their whispered judgments. The CEO extended his hand toward Clara. "Ma'am, please follow me." The lobby gasped. No one had ever seen such a thing. Adam's eyes lit with wonder as his mother hesitated, then took the CEO's hand. As they walked past the silent crowd, the CEO's words lingered. Dignity is not measured by policy. It's measured by sacrifice. Inside his office, the CEO listened as Clara spoke about her years of nursing, her sacrifices, her determination to work hard. She did not embellish. She did not beg. She simply told the truth. When she finished, he leaned back in his chair, eyes thoughtful. "You're hired," he said simply. "Not despite your child, but because of him. If you can raise a boy with such trust and strength, then you have everything it takes to build this company stronger." Tears welled in Clara's eyes, but she did not cry. She simply nodded, gripping her son's hand tighter. For the first time in years, she felt the weight of rejection lift from her shoulders. When Clara left the CEO's office with Adam at her side, the lobby stood frozen in awe. No one whispered now. No one dared mock. Instead, one by one, the applicants lowered their heads in silent respect. A single mother, once humiliated, had become the living proof of resilience. And for the first time in a long time, Clara allowed herself to believe the future might be brighter. Silence can be the loudest form of dignity. Dignity is not measured by policy. It's measured by sacrifice. The greatest strength is not in what we build, but in who we refuse to give up on. This story is not just about a job. It is about unseen battles fought every day by people who carry the weight of the world in silence. It is about respect, sacrifice, and the quiet heroes who refuse to give up. Respect is not earned through wealth or titles. It is earned through dignity. And sometimes the greatest victories are the ones nobody expected. Where are you watching from? Have you ever witnessed a moment where silent strength changed everything? Share your thoughts below, and if this story moved you, subscribe for more stories that honor the heroes we walk past every day.